Wind energy is a source of renewable energy generated by spinning wind turbines in windy areas and carried into the grid by towers and power lines. My partner will explain how wind power works and aspects like the monetary cost of wind energy. I will discuss the positive and negative effects on animal species and the environment, as well as recent developments and the future of wind power.
So to answer this question, we're going to need to understand how wind turbines work. Wind turbines work by converting energy from the wind into electrical energy, which we can use to power our homes. The turbine uses various sensors in order to rotate the blades, as well as the entire top of the structure, in order to maximize the strength of the wind blowing against the turbine. The wind then spins the blade at somewhere between 7 and 12 RPM, which, with a 130-meter diameter blade, that's about 170 to 290 kilometers per hour at the tips. The hub then connects all the blades to the low-speed shaft, which rotates at the same rotational speed as the blades. The gearbox then connects the low-speed shaft to the high-speed shaft and increases its rotational velocity by as much as 100 times, up to 1500 RPM. The high-speed shaft then drives the generator, which actually generates the electricity by spinning a magnet. Multiple transformers then raise the voltage of the electricity generated, and the power is then transferred by power grids to consumers. But are the wind turbines actually effective? Well, they do have some problems. For example, they can only be built in windy areas, and it's not always windy. However, they can be engineered to supply a surplus when active, and then batteries can be used to hold on to the energy, and energy can be transported from windy areas to not windy areas. They have the benefits of being one of the cheapest sources of energy, averaging only about $43 per megawatt hour. Now, some forms of solar energy are cheaper, but this is cheaper than almost all types of fossil fuels, in addition to other advantages, which my partner will discuss.
According to AWEA, wind energy does not emit CO2, the second most abundant greenhouse gas, nor does it emit nitrogen oxides, methane, or sulfur dioxide. Also, quote, in 2017, wind energy generation reduced water consumption at existing power plants by approximately 95 billion gallons, end of quote, and wind turbines, quote, leave the overwhelming majority of land they're built on undisturbed, end of quote, meaning they do not harm ecosystems significantly. Additionally, as stated by the same source, quote, wind causes less than 0.01% of all human-related bird deaths in the United States, end of quote, less deaths than those caused by collisions with communication towers and vehicles. Also, according to Earth Island Journal, a recently developed technology known as Identified could be used to further reduce this. Identified consists of a camera placed on a tower shorter than the wind turbine, which scans a 360-degree radius for approaching species identified as needing to be protected. 200 image attributes, including wingspan and body length, have been inputted for it to compare them with silhouettes it sees in the camera within 1 kilometer from the turbines. If a figure matching the attributes is seen flying towards them, the turbines shut down. This technology shows the positive impact of turbines on the reduction of pollutants, especially since ways of mitigating their dangers exist, outweighing the damages. However, according to the American Bird Conservancy website, quote, power lines and towers which carry the electrical power generated by turbines into the grid kill an additional 8 to 57 million birds every year through collisions and electrocutions. Furthermore, end of quote. Furthermore, according to a study by Harvard University, even if it does not contribute to CO2 emissions, turbines may contribute to climate change as they redistribute heat in the atmosphere and can raise land temperatures up to 0.24 degrees Celsius. For this reason, solar panels were found to be a preferable energy source.
In conclusion, as previously stated, wind power is a very effective renewable energy source. It's one of the cheapest sources of energy, and it has a low environmental impact. It does have some flaws, but these are largely surmountable through other uses of technology. However, solar energy is better in many ways, as it has a lower environmental impact and is sometimes cheaper. Solar and wind power have different advantages and disadvantages, and the better choice depends on the location. For example, solar power would generally be better in Southern California, while wind power would generally be better in Nebraska. We therefore predict that the use of wind power will continue to increase in the coming decades, though it will likely be surpassed by solar power. Wind power is not the answer to climate change, but it is an answer. It's only part of the solution.